Hello and welcome to CI's Talk to the Boss. Today we're talking to our boss, Mr. Poyner. Hello.
Please call me Michael.
Oh, that feels a little bit awkward. Why is that?
It's certainly appropriate for you to start with Mr., but this is a rather common invitation, which you always want to accept when it's extended.
What's the reason for that?
Most of us appreciate a friendlier work environment, which a first name basis engenders. Realize, of course, although the formal German delineation of Sie versus Du is not really existent in English, we do speak in registers depending on the seniority of the person that we're talking to. We can learn a little bit more about that some other time, perhaps.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. So talking about register and cultural differences, what might be essential when establishing a bilingual business environment?
A pretty impressive undertaking for any organization, whether it's company-wide or key department transitions. It would be prudent to break down any large project into manageable goals. And to keep it easy, I'll go with 3 for starters. First and foremost, my mantra is always a unified messaging. It's a plain common sense to make sure that managers are on the same wavelength. We need to make sure that management demonstrates commitment to assure buy-in from those that are reporting to them, their associates, employees. Number 2 would be prioritizing proficiencies. What level of language does a person in a particular job need in order to do their tasks in the target language? We like to utilize a matrix-based approach. And then there's cultural differences. A significant challenge transitioning from the German culture into an English culture, regardless of where it is that there's an obvious risk orientation that Germans use in communicating, and the opportunity orientation that is used in English. Something to consider is the fact that Germans are a little more direct, clearly, and speaking in English, we're a little indirect, particularly regarding critique.
That sounds very elaborate. Why can't just everybody learn A to Z English?
As nice as it would be for everyone to be fluently bilingual, it is seldom realizable budgetarily. This is why I prefer a matrix to define communication relevance rooted in position descriptions. Let's take, for example, somebody who's in sales. They're going to need to spontaneously interact on some sensitive subjects, and they need to be aware when somebody might be trying to take advantage of them. There would be an awful lot of spontaneous interaction training on the job themes, and the capacity or the command of the language needs to be quite broad. That'll take a little more time. Someone who is in a customer service position who might take calls may use a form, some kind of a standardized communication template, has perhaps a more limited range of Lexis references, and we could be more targeted with their training, save a little bit of time, be more efficient.
That will make sense, yes. So you heard it directly from the boss. These are the main aspects to keep in mind when trying to establish a bilingual corporate culture. If you have any questions or want to learn more about this, please feel free to drop an email.